I still got a little bit of white mold on these bags. You can see a little tiny spot there and there. Probably where I got it up against the plastic. That's usually where it's most prone. You can see these bags are still going. Looks like the ones that only have like 3 or 4 mushrooms out, probably only going to put out that many. Some of these only have like a 2. So I still think I need to wait a little bit longer. As you can see, some of these down here are doing pretty good. Notice too how these mushrooms form with a bit more of a umbo, as you would call it, in the center of the cap where it's convex. It means there's a lot of meat up in the cap area, which is good. So these bags over here I've let go to 28 days, and you can see, right here, you can see pins are about 1 inch long. The biggest ones you can see on the bag. If you look inside the bag, you can see them in there about 1 inch or so long too. Some of these down here have bunches of them in there. So I would say wait till at least the pinches are about that long before you open them up, just because, like I was showing here before, where you get some regrowth if the pins aren't far enough along. I think actually what is kind of happening here is that by letting the pins form like this, you're kind of developing the pin set and selecting which ones that are going to go to maturity much more selectively. Before, it's just kind of like chaos where they all try to go, and you lose yields that way. I think too, when I did these in the winter time and had better results, what's actually going on, it's slowing the growth of the bags down a bit, where only those mature pins form, and kind of gives about the same type of results as this way. So I'm still thinking that when I get back to doing this in cold weather, the combination of the two of this, I think will give really good results. But I'm going to open these bags up with pins about 1 inch long, 28 days old, and give those the same amount of casing as I did before, and I think I'll get some slightly better results. You can see I've pretty much cleared out any bags that could give any mold spores out from old second flushes, even though I got a few of these bags still out here just because I see they have some potential left, but they're going out here soon. And then everything else will be covered, which seems to be working well. A lot of these bags, the whole entire top recolonized with no mold. And I see on these first ones, pins starting to pop up here and there. And so I'm thinking the same procedure. Let the pins get about 1 inch long while it's covered up, and then hit it with the casing mix and uncover it. I've harvested all these first tries at letting the pins develop in the bag. And I got a decent amount, but nowhere near still what I want. And you can see these ones that broke through fast are still going pretty strong. A lot of them still kind of have the that kind of look to it, where the cap is kind of uneven surfaced, and then as the mushroom develops, everything kind of rounds out. I'm thinking that probably cutting the plastic open when the mushrooms are about 1 inch long is still too early, because the 2 bags I did at the start that did really well, they were about 2 inches long, really. I mean, they were pretty far along. So on these ones, I'm going to wait a bit longer and see how they do. I must have not done as good of a job wiping the inside of the bag off on these, because I can see it growing up pretty hard on a lot of them, so that'll probably affect that a little bit. But these ones are I was much more thorough and kind of grabbing the bag and getting as much of the mycelium and sawdust off as I could. And really, you want to get as high as you can, get all that excess off up there too, and just smush it onto the surface of the block gently. And I think these ones are going to do a bit better. And really about 2 days after you smush it on there, it starts making pins on top of the mycelium, so it all happens very fast. So I'm going to keep on trying this method. I'm thinking letting the pins mature for a couple days longer is what I need, so maybe about 30 days before opening the bags. So although I've beat this mold issue, you can see I still am not getting really good pin sets. A lot of these looked good as they started, but now the pins are kind of fading away and only 1 or 2 mushrooms are developing well. I put a lot of thought into it, and I believe it has to be an issue of the strain getting old. I've had my strain for 2 years and refreshed it about every 6 months, but my storage conditions aren't ideal. My refrigerator, you know, it's about 38 degrees, while culture banks and large mushroom operations will store their cultures probably closer to 33, 34 degrees, so they last longer. But that's good news for you, because I'm going to start my video series on strain isolation here in the coming weeks. And with those videos, I'll show you how to take spores from these mushrooms, or any mushrooms for that matter, and get out individual strains, because spores are millions and millions of strains that differentiate just a little bit between each other. But some strains are a little bit stronger, produce more fruits. Some will produce different shaped fruits too, but all, you know, same king oysters, just a little bit of variation. But I believe by refreshing my strains anyhow, I'm going to get improved results. So I'll be doing a variety of isolated strains and testing those against a multi-spore strain too, which these all came from a multi-spore, so all my results have been based on those so far. But degraded strain, I believe, is the reason why I'm not getting good pins on these ones, and still having really inconsistent results on everything. I think too I'm going to try putting a casing layer on top of these that started pinning a little bit, just because I think I'll get better results now, and at least finish out this growing season doing that. And then after I develop some good strains, I'll come back in the spring and we'll start anew and do some more experiments trying with these king oysters to get a better variety within all its genetic complex. So wish me luck on all that. But I'm going to wrap up this episode. I think I've concluded that this mold is no more problem by using this method where I can get pins going ahead and then case it. So I'll see you again on Mushroom Adventures.